today I am making Texas caviar, black-eyed pea salsa, whatever you want to call it. I love black-eyed peas. They are very high in protein and all of your B vitamins. They're just delicious and nutritious. And so what I have here is I used frozen. So when it comes to choosing best, good, better, best, the best would be growing them in your backyard. And so I do have that sometimes, but I didn't today. Second, I would either choose dried, organic, or frozen, organic. And then as a last resort, canned organic. Always buy your beans organic. Remember, they do spray them to make them dry quicker so they can harvest them quickly. And so if they're not organic, they have been sprayed so they dry very quickly for harvesting. And so what I did is I had 1 pound of frozen black-eyed peas and I boiled them with a piece of kombu. You may have seen me in my other videos. I always use a piece of kelp or kombu, which is seaweed, when I cook my beans. That adds some natural iodine. It also helps with some digestive support. And so you can see if I can hold it up for you to see. Right there, it's a little bit kind of black there. It kind of hangs down. It's very gelatinous. It's very, can you see? It's kind of gooey. It's just dissolving in there. And so that's also very good for all of your mucosal linings. That will help aid in any, if you have leaky gut or any kind of inflammation inside your, any of the system from your nose all the way down through. And so it's just really good for you. In my black-eyed pea salsa, or my Texas caviar as it is sometimes called, I'm going to be using some red onion, some green onion, a lime, a jalapeno, I picked a red one, and a red bell pepper. You can use other ingredients as well. Some people will put some fresh garlic in there, which is wonderful. Anti-cancer, antifungal, antimicrobial. Great reasons to use garlic. I'm not today. You could use a little bit of salt. You could add some smoked paprika. That would give it a delicious flavor. Or even some cumin. I may put some cumin in mine. Anyway, so the first thing I'm going to do is cut my bell pepper. Red bell peppers are full of vitamin C, and I prefer the red over the green. There's a little more antioxidants in there with that bright red color. So I'm just cutting around. You can see I'm kind of curving my knife around just so that I miss those seeds. See, just to make it where it's a little bit easier to clean up, because I'm a little lazy when it comes to cleanup. And I'm just going to remove some of that white pith right there, which probably has some good nutritional benefits, but I don't like to chew on that. So I'm going to dice this. So I'm going to run my knife lengthwise to make some strips. Then I'm going to line it up to dice it. There we go. So this is great for if you are going to go tailgating. You need to bring something maybe to an appetizer party or having appetizer night. It's just something we like to have when we have snack night or appetizers or taking an appetizer somewhere. We like to tailgate when we go to Braves games or our homecoming football games. This is a great choice with some healthy veggies or some healthy chips. Throw in my bell pepper. Okay, next I'm going to add a tomato. Some little cherry tomatoes or the Tiny Matt's Wilds. I like to use those sometimes too. Those would be great in here. But I'm just going to use one. I may decide to add 2 tomatoes. We'll see. I should have picked a yellow bell pepper. That would have made this more of a rainbow colored type dish, right? It's always good to have some yellow. Might be a lot of red here, especially with my red jalapeno. So tomatoes are high in lycopene, which is wonderful for your heart and your eyes. Very high in vitamin C. And wonderful, this is fall, so wonderful. The fall, we're still getting these wonderful tomatoes. I'm making a little bit of a mess here. All right, next I have my jalapeno. So depending on how spicy you want it, I don't want it too spicy, so I'm gonna leave the seeds out. So I'm gonna cut right around the center again, just like I did on the bell pepper. I'm just gonna try to keep those seeds in the middle. It's okay if some get in there, but that's the spicy part. You can leave the jalapeno out if you want to, but for me, I love the a little bit of heat there, especially for something like a salsa or, like we said, a Texas caviar. I don't know where I got the name Texas caviar, but I'll take it. But jalapenos are high in capsaicin, and they're not quite as good for your heart health as cayenne, but pretty close. Very heart healthy and tasty. So yes, this is very red. A lot of red here. I should have used a little bit of green. We'll use some green onions to give it some green color. All right, next I'm going to use some red onion. And remember the purple color here, that gives us the anthocyanins, antioxidants. It is wonderful for us. I'm going to save these ends for my veggie broth. And I only want maybe a quarter of this onion. And I didn't mean to cut it right now because, you know, those of you who've watched me before know I am going to start crying. Onions get me every time. So I just have a quarter of a piece. I'm doing some strips down. Did you see I have my hand flat? So my fingers are out of the way. And then I turned it over on its side. And I'm doing one more cut. And then I'm going to do some tiny little cuts. So it is minced. And here come the waterworks. Just a few tablespoons of that red onion. I actually don't need all of this. Just want a little bit of that flavor. And then a lime. That's going to give us some more vitamin C. And usually when you add something like lemon or lime or vinegar, you don't have to add as much salt. I try not to add any salt to my dishes. Sometimes I will. Just a little bit. All right. I'm just rolling it, adding some warmth to it, just trying to release those juices. Cut it open. I have my little juicer here. I'm trying not to cry, can you tell? There we go. That one, this is kind of a firm lime. There we go. I love these flavors. I love salsa. So in the comments, tell me some things that you would put Texas caviar on, or what you would serve with it. You can actually have this as a side dish. I'm thinking I'm going to use it as a side on my salads during the week. And let me add my black-eyed peas. So like I said, I cook them with the kombu or kelp. That just adds lots more minerals. The kombu fell apart, which is fine. It's going to add some saltiness as well. And I'm just using a slotted spoon here. I could have drained it before. I brought it to a boil. These were frozen. So I brought it to a boil, and then I simmered for, the package said half an hour, but I did about a whole hour. I like them a little bit soft. The key when cooking beans is to add salt at the end. Sometimes if you add salt in the beginning, they will not get tender enough. Or I didn't add any salt. I only added the kombu. Alright, now I'm going to add some green onions, but I want to stir this all together first. So, onions, green onions, sweet onions, sweet onions and red onions, they all come from the allium family, same as garlic. So that's, they're all related as far as anti-cancer and things like that. Isn't that beautiful? Alright, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Here are our green onions. Cut the tops off. Those can go in my veggie broth. Alright, the onions got me. I had to step away. So I'm going to add just the green part of the onions. So we'll still add some oniony flavor, but also add some green color to our Texas caviar. Stir that in. It's so beautiful. Can't wait to eat it. Give it a little taste, see if I need to add any salt or cumin. Make sure I get some bell pepper on there. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Oh, it's good, so good. A little bit of salt. I use Himalayan pink salt just because it has more minerals than white salt. White salt, showing while I'm talking. Your regular iodized salt does have iodine, which is good for your thyroid, but it's also processed with aluminum, and so for anyone who is sensitive to metals, you may want to choose something more like a Himalayan salt or a sea salt. And I am looking for my cumin. I think I would like some red pepper flakes. Do a little bit more heat. And some cumin. A little more heat and some cumin. Maybe not that much. There we go. Just to taste. I'm still crying from the onions. This is going to be delicious. There we go. Texas caviar or black-eyed pea salsa. If you make this, let me know. Share and like my videos. Show some of your friends this dish and tell them how healthy it is for them. Anyway, enjoy.